but you also got to know your stuff. And the best way to know your stuff is to get in there and get started. Get in there and get started. And don't look at it like, I'm always amazed when people will take their credit card and pay some companies like 60 and 100,000, and then they still don't understand what real estate investing is all about. It's so much easier to get into a more intimate community, pay a little less, and learn the information. Because I have knowledge that I learned in the early 1990s, the late 1980s, that I still use today. Real estate investing is real estate investing. And again, once you understand this information, it will never ever be taken from you. Education is something that's going to multiply in the way it pays you back. I can't tell you how much money I've made back because of the stuff I invested in learning. So you want to look at, do you want to do the bird dog? Bird dog, you build a couple of dollars, and now you can invest in a program that's going to help you to do wholesaling. After you build some cash flow from wholesaling, then you might consider fixing and flipping. And if you're not really a person that knows how to fix and flip, and women, I get so many women that call me and say, I bought a deal and I was counting on this contractor, but now the contractor doesn't want to help me, or the contractor can't do it because he's got too many jobs, or the contractor can't do it because he got injured, and now they're stuck with the property. They have limited time to close it, and they don't know what steps to take. And I tell them, you're better off investing a couple of $1,000s and paying an experienced fix flipper to help you, to guide you, to show you how to fix and flip it, or to oversee your renovation so that you can get it done in a timely mindset. People think that once they watch these HGTV shows that they know what they're doing, but that's good, but that's not the only thing that's going to help you. It's so much better if you have somebody you can call and reach out to, or text, and they'll respond back to you when you're first getting started in real estate. I think once you do like 3 deals and you have a system in place and you've got some cash stacked, then you can try to do a little bit more on your own. In the beginning, though, you really want to build a team that's going to help you. You also want to look at, once you find this property, if you're driving for dollars and you find this property and the property needs work, well, look up the details of the property. See how much they think it's worth, and just really look at the neighborhood. Look at the neighborhood. And if there's one house in the neighborhood that's got a problem, I guarantee you there's at least 3 to 5 more. And so it's worth mailing everybody in that neighborhood, not just, that one house. Mail everybody in that neighborhood. And you can also email everybody in that neighborhood. You can also text everybody in that neighborhood. You can send postcards to everybody in that neighborhood. You can send the yellow letter to everybody in that neighborhood, but choose one and send out as quickly as possible some information to get them to call you. Leave a little note on the address of the house that you're looking at that seems like it's a potential investment property. Just leave them a little note like, I'm interested in buying this house. Here's my phone number, and have them call you back. Now, when they call you back, whether you get the deal or lose the deal is going to be how quickly you can build rapport, how quickly you can get all the information you need to get, and how soon can you educate the people, not talk to them and make them sell their home, but how quickly can you educate them so that they choose you to work with. Once you do that, then what you want to do is connect. You should have a lender in place. If you don't have one, you can send me a message. I'll be happy to send you, my referred lenders, my preferred lenders, and you can reach out to them. And you also want to have a real estate agent on your team, whatever area you live in. If you want me to refer you some real estate agents, I'll be happy to do that as well. But this is the most simple, most basic way to get started in real estate. You don't need to send, five. I met one gentleman and he had sent out 10,000 postcards. And he got all these calls and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. So I said, well, what was the purpose of that? That's why we encourage people to start slowly. Because when you don't understand real estate, there's a lot of things you're juggling. You've got to learn the concepts of wholesaling. You've got to learn how to do the contracts. You've got to know what attorneys or title companies to use. You've got to learn how to speak to people to get them to work with you. And then you've got to build your buyers list. So this is all difficult if you're just pulling information off a YouTube channel, or you're pulling information because you went to the meetup and they shared some information and got you hyped, or maybe, those guys came into town and they shared with you they can make you a real estate wholesaler. And if you show up at one of their meetings, and spend the whole Saturday there, then you can be very, very successful as an investor. That's not always going to happen. So I really encourage you to make sure that you are taking it slow. It's better to get one deal under your belt than to try to get 10 million deals and you really don't even understand what wholesaling is all about. I encourage you to join our live trainings, but when something sticks out to you, go and try that thing. You can always message me and I'll be happy to talk with you and guide you, but you've got to get the experience of closing a deal. And that only happens when you take the steps, you take the action steps to go ahead and do what needs to be done to close the deal. So I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to challenge you. This week, find a zip code and go drive around in that neighborhood and see if you can find some property or some owners that may need your help. The market is about to take a dive, and if you don't have a good team backing you out, you're about to enter a season of real estate where you might lose money. Now, this is also the best time to get started, because when the market goes down, like I see a young lady here that I'm still waiting for you to get involved in the mentoring program, because I think it's going to catapult your business. And I see your commitment because you join a lot of the trainings, and I really appreciate that. But this is the time to connect with a mentor. This is the time to make sure your team is together, and that your team is moving forward and helping you to take your business to the next level. But I'm going to challenge you, drive around a neighborhood, whatever area you live in, go just a step higher in price point. So if you're in a $200,000 neighborhood, go 250 to 300,000 and just drive in that neighborhood and see if you can come across a good deal. If you're in a $50,000 neighborhood, just drive up to maybe a $75,000 neighborhood. And you'd be surprised. When I first got into real estate, this was very hard for me. I had closed over 100 homes, and they were in a lower end price point, but still a good community, like a $200,000 price point and lower. So my average commission check was about $2,500, but I was putting a lot of time and effort into doing that. And one of my mentors at that time said to me, raise your price point, and a percentage of a higher price point is going to give you a lot more money faster. And so I did that, and I did that with my investing as well. I stopped just looking at properties that need a complete renovation, because sometimes the paperwork on that stuff can take a long time. But even a good neighborhood, some of the paperwork can take a long time. Sometimes after you run the title, you find that there's issues going on, and those issues have to be handled. Sometimes you find out there's a probate situation, and the family members are not all 100% agreement in selling the property. So now you've got to make sure that all the work that needs to be done to get that happen. But sometimes you get a deal that will close in a couple of days. And so why not boost your chances to close a deal by driving into some neighborhoods that are a little bit more expensive than you expected, and then talk to the people. And we have a worksheet on Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, on our lead sheet, on our album, photos there. You can download that sheet, whether it says for sale by owner, lead sheet, all the same information pretty much applies. A couple of questions are a little different. So print that form, ask them all those questions, and then, if you would like me to talk to you a little bit more, guide you a little bit more, feel free to connect with me. Some things we can help you to understand on your own, but right there, just driving around a neighborhood and using that sheet to ask the questions that are on that sheet will get you closer to a deal than what you're doing right now. And I promise you that if you're consistent and doing this stuff consistently, you will build your business to succeed. That is the most simplest way to start real estate wholesaling. And there's very specific terminology that needs to be in the contract. But I don't want to go over all of that right now. Right now, I just want to show you how easy it is to find a deal, because one of the people that got started was asking me, are there still good properties out there? I have a young lady that has found 4 good properties in her zip code, following exactly what I'm sharing with you. But you've got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. And then you need people that are doing this that you can reach out to. So when you get a little nervous, or you get to a place in your journey that you don't know which way to go, they can answer you and help pull you to the next level. And so again, just to recap, you want to stay committed, because transformation does not happen by chance. It happens by commitment, by sacrifice, by consistency, persistency, and just making a commitment that you're going to do this no matter what. You're not going to give up or slow back or listen to the naysayers. As I mentioned before, nobody in my family was in real estate, so when I got started, they didn't get it. But in less than 6 months, when my life was completely different, and I had changed my mother's life at the same time, it gave them evidence that this really works. And then more people started doing what I was doing. Focus on your why. Why do you want to make more money? And be as crystal clear about it. Because if you want to help other people more than you want to pay your rent, or a car will get your car note and your rent paid, or your mortgage paid, or put you in a nicer house. But more people are motivated, and long-lasting transformation, they'll commit to it when it's to help other people, especially people they care about. And then you want to keep your business simple. Don't invest your money in these big organizations that tell you can make $1 million, and then when they leave town, you're talking to a person that you never even met at the program that you went to. They didn't even get on the phone to speak with you, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. And if you try to ask for more help, they want to upsell you. You don't want that. And the other thing you want to do is start driving for dollars. Drive around for dollars. Don't just look at the poor neighborhoods, the burnouts, the abandoned properties. Go a little bit better than that, a little bit higher price point, a decent neighborhood. Can you get to the bus? Can you get to the train station? Can you, can you walk around in the middle of the day? Does it still feel a little safe? And here's one better than that. Go into a greater neighborhood. I went to a neighborhood on the water and got a property for $192,000 because it was on the market, and realtors were taking other people and nobody would touch it because of the smell in the house. The dog had peed all over the house, and it was an outdated house. I changed a couple of things and that house was worth over $600,000. And I mentioned before a gentleman that followed what I'm teaching you guys, and you can see him share on my yellowlettermentoring.com website that he followed the teachings I shared with him, and he got a mansion for $60,000 in a community called Water's Edge, which is a pretty nice community in Atlanta, Georgia. So don't always think you can only find good deals in the bad neighborhoods. You might want to upgrade where you and your family live. This is a good way to do it. You might want to upgrade a family member. You might just want to get to know people in a better neighborhood. You might want to experience doing a deal in a better neighborhood. This is one of the best ways to do it. And then, as I mentioned before, figure out how you're going to market to them once you find that address that looks like they need your help. Besides knocking on the door and introducing yourself and making sure you have that worksheet and you can ask them a bunch of questions, you want to consider, what if they're not at the door? What if they can't talk right now? Then you want to send them a mail out. But if there is a property in the neighborhood that needs some help, I always say there's at least 3 to 5 more in the same zip code, in the same neighborhood, in the same community. You're going to find at least 3 to 5 more in that subdivision. So you can either mail them a yellow letter, you can mail them postcards, you can email the whole neighborhood, you can text message the whole neighborhood, you can call them directly, the whole neighborhood. And you know, there's so many different ways right now to be able to do that. And now you can bird dog the property, wholesale the property, and or just go ahead and fix and flip it, or fix it up a little bit, keep it and rent it out. And so again, those are the very basics of real estate wholesaling. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope you got something out of it, and I hope that the next time I speak to you, you'll be the testimonial that says, I did exactly what you shared, and now my business or I own a property. This gentleman just basically wanted to upgrade the house for him and his that time, his fiance. She's now his wife. And he's used this information to do other things. I don't like to make the business complicated. I like to make it very, very simple. So if anything I've shared with you has been helpful, you can like the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, and then you can download the items that I shared with you, but you have to like the page to get that information. And you can also watch some of the videos of trainings that we've done in the past. You can join one of our meetups if you're in New York or Atlanta, and or you can follow me at Wendy Lovejoy Trainings on Instagram. I put a lot of information there as well. As a matter of fact, I will be doing a live training this evening on Instagram, and I'll be sharing basically a lot of the same information for the people that didn't, that don't make it to the Facebook page and they just watch Instagram. Again, I hope this has been very helpful. I look forward to speaking with you. And if you'd like to see if we're a good fit to work with you, go over to the yellowlettermentoring.com and just schedule a get to know you call. It is not about us talking you into working with us. It is about us seeing if you're a good fit for us and you seeing if we're a good fit for you. There won't always be a time where I'll be able to do that call and spend as much time as I do with some of the people that have called us. But right now it's a priority to me to do that, because I really want to see women understand that they can do this. I did it with 3 kids in Pampers. I really believe you can do this. And then the men, it's so much easier because you just get up and go. But the women with children, I promise you can do this, and it will change the life of your children forever. I hope this has been helpful. My name is Wendy Lovejoy of the yellowlettermentoring.com. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope it was helpful. Bye.